Hi guys, so here's the final video and reveal of the Tamiya Bimota Tesi 1D 1/12 scale hub centre steering motorbike kit. And this is a motorbike that's fascinated me for some years with the hub centre steering. As I mentioned already in the first part of this video build series, they certainly weren't the first to do this, and nor are they the only ones to do this, but it certainly is probably one of the most exotic ones, or the exotic production bikes to do this. So it's a very nice kit, well up to Tamiya's standards, and goes together very well. But a caveat on that is it's much more fiddly than other Tamiya bike kits I've built. It requires a lot of handling and fiddling and wriggling bits into place and holding bits at odd angles, and it did need quite a lot of touch-up from being handled so much during the assembly process. So be aware of that. If you are a beginning modeler and wanting to make motorbike kits, I do not recommend this as a beginner's kit. It's a lovely kit, it builds up into a very nice kit, but I don't recommend it as a beginner's kit at all because of the aforementioned problems with regards to needing so much handling during assembly and bits that could break if they're not handled carefully. During the assembly of the fairing panels, for example, I managed to pop out the windshield. Not such a problem because clear parts tend to glue in with PVA anyway, so they just peel off and you can re-glue them. So that's been re-glued, and it is in fact still setting. So I'm trying to be careful not to touch that too much. So no, it's not a beginner's kit. I certainly wouldn't recommend it for somebody who's first starting out into building model bike kits. Start with one of their easier standard fork type kits, I would say. But what I will show you just before I give you a quick view around the model is the steering. Now, in action, as I explained in the previous video, you turn the handlebars and that is connected to an aluminium spar down there, which is connected to a rod, which is connected to a pivot, which turns a pivot on the right hand side of the bike, and that in turn pushes or pulls a lever. I'll just spin this around so that try and also not to touch the body panels and put finger marks on the shine. And this lever, the lower one of the two, pushes and pulls that, which pushes and pulls on the hub and turns the wheel. So as you pull the handlebars back, it pulls this pivot back and pulls the wheel to the right. As you push it forward, or turn the handlebars to the left, it pushes the lever forward and turns the handlebar to the left. Now you can see that there's not as much movement as you would get with traditional forks. So this is one of the downsides or restrictions on funny front ends. In racing terms and general sort of riding terms, that's not a problem because you typically put very little steering input in there. That's the right hand side of the bike. You can see with the fairing in place, it pretty much obscures all of the fascinating and gorgeous bespoke bodywork that houses this Ducati motor and all the fabulous engineering that goes into the front end. So it's kind of nice to be able to see what it looks like without the bodywork on. And with the bodywork on. For display purposes, I'll be displaying it with the bodywork on, and this is one that I won't be taking off on a regular basis because it is, as explained, it's very fiddly, and the chances of breaking off a component are quite high. The only additional thing I'll mention regarding this is the throttle cable assembly. The instructions don't have a call out for the throttle cable, despite it being an upper section throttle cable, which hopefully you can see there. So I added that just to complete the kit, really. So so there you go. There's Tamiya's Bimota Tesi 1D funny front end. And what I'm going to do now is show you some video of this on the stand, rotating with the bodywork off and then with the bodywork on, so that you can see a comparison of the two and view it from all angles. And we'll finish off this video with some still images. So thank you for following this. If you've been following this, I hope you've enjoyed the build, and then I'll be looking at the pile and seeing what I'm going to build next. I've got a pretty good idea what I'm going to build next, and I'm going to be going off on a tangent away from wheeled vehicles, I think. So we'll see you in the next video. So thank you for watching.